This is the People in Profit Podcast, featuring your host, Nes Velasquez, a multi-six-figure industry influencer and investor. Learn tips, ideas, and strategies as we cover various topics and interviews you can use to experience further financial increase. Let's get started.
All right, so it's currently Tuesday, and I just got back from my travels. Some of you know that I spoke at the New York Kickoff Convention on Saturday, and I covered binary options, which if you haven't heard that training yet, you definitely should. I uploaded the audio version of that training here on the People in Profit podcast. So during that training, I briefly mentioned Harry S. Dent Jr.'s book, The Sale of a Lifetime. Now, Harry S. Dent Jr., he's a well-known economist, and he's a market specialist. He is able to look at different cycles of spending, market cycles, economy cycles. This guy is an absolute professional. You can also find him in the documentary, The Rise of an Entrepreneur with Eric Worre. So this gentleman is super respected. In his book, he is predicting 2019 financial crash in the markets. And, he reveals all these different facts supporting his prediction. And I am definitely not against him on this one. He's been right before, and I'm starting to see a lot of stuff happening now. And even during this podcast, we are in the middle of a U.S. government shutdown. So I could definitely see a lot of stuff happening over the next few months, especially when it comes to the impact of the dollar, so on and so forth. So I also think that we are poised for another crash within the next year or two. So he has 7 guiding principles to identifying bubbles. Now, what are bubbles? Bubbles are simply cycles of booms and busts. Pretty much when something new is out, right, and then a hype is created, and all of a sudden at the height of the hype, it crashes, basically, right? So there's cycles in just about every single thing known to man, but this in particular is about the markets, financial markets, housing markets, the economy, so on and so forth. So I'm going to give you the summary of those 7 guiding principles of bubbles, and this is taken, from Harry S. Dent Jr.'s book, which I think is a book you should definitely pick up, and you can pick up the book at nesvequez.com/books. Now, here's a summary of those 7 guiding principles of bubbles. Guiding principle number 1, bubbles are cyclical, and since the 1930s, generational. They occur in a fall boom season every other generation. That makes them easy to forecast decades in advance. It also makes them inevitable and far enough apart so that they only happen once in a lifetime, like the late 1920s and now. Guiding principle number 2. Bubbles are human nature. We love stocks and real estate and anything else that goes up exponentially and gives us something for nothing, like the lottery. We are suckers for this. This not only makes bubbles inevitable, it also makes us blind to them. Guiding principle number 3. Bubbles are exponential, not linear. This makes them unsustainable. They have to burst, but they are also representative of long-term trends, which are also exponential. This also makes them inevitable. Guiding principle number 4. Bubbles are financial orgasms. They build up, go exponential, climax, and peak, then deflate rapidly, not slowly. From time to time, they'll follow the female orgasm of a triple peak before bursting like now. That is even more ominous as history shows. Guiding principle number 5. Bubbles always return to where they began their exponential move, if not lower. There are a few exceptions here. This makes it easy to see how much downside there is and how big the buying opportunities will be before the next boom. Guiding principle number 6. There is no stopping the bubble burst cycle. The Bank of Japan has tried for 20 years and has seen no success. The European Central Bank has tried with no long-term luck. The story is the same with the Fed. Despite their persistent efforts, the bubble will unwind painfully. In fact, thanks to their efforts, the bubble is far worse than it was when they got involved, and we can now expect a devastating crash. While we'll be ready to grab the opportunities this will present us, those unprepared will suffer. And finally, guiding principle number 7. Bubbles, once they've experienced their initial sharp burst, continue to unwind for years, presenting us with a sale of a lifetime where we could pick up business, real estate, stocks, and everything else for a fraction of their value. Despite the crisis, this presents the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create extreme wealth in a short period of time, if you see it coming. With this book, you'll be ready to back up the truck and position yourself for wealth beyond your imagining. The mentors of my past used to say this all the time. After every recession or depression, there is expansion. So entrepreneurs and also investors are trained to understand what to do after a major crash, after a bubble burst, right? While most people are panicking, other people are doing something about it. So it really comes down to the 3 types of people. Number 1, the ones that are making it happen, right? The ones that are actually in the game and they're making it happen. They know what's going on, but they're doing something about it. The second type of person are the ones that are just watching what's happening, right? They're just watching. They're witnessing, right? They're sitting on the sidelines and they're just looking at what's going on. Then you have the third type of person who have absolutely no idea what is going on. They have no idea what's happening at all. They're oblivious. I hope that you're the first type of person. We have the edge over everyone else. And the reason why is because we actively trade. We are involved in the fintech space, all right? Financial technology. We are involved in the fintech space. So we have the edge in regards to financial literacy over most people out there. We're involved with Forex trading currencies. We know what's going on. We pay attention to the news more than most people because the news are what impacts the markets, basically. We are also involved in cryptocurrency. The majority of you that are listening to this podcast right now, you have the edge over everyone else that have no idea what is going on. So this book is going to help prepare you as to what to do after a crash has already happened. While most people get emotional, lose their mind, and for the next 20 years complain about a recession that happened long ago, other people are sitting on wealth. I want you to be wealthy. God doesn't want you to be broke. He wants you to have abundance. I want you to have abundance. You should want you to have abundance as well. I hope this was valuable to you. Share this with your team, your organizations, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.